Hi everyone, welcome to Smack Reviews. If you love our honest reviews, smack that subscribe button so you never miss out.
So after 9 long years of waiting, we finally have the sequel to Zootopia, simply titled Zootopia 2. In my view, Zootopia remains one of Disney's strongest original IPs in recent years. The first film distinguished itself through its world building, its memorable main and supporting characters, and a narrative with surprising depth, supported by themes that audiences of all ages could appreciate. There's a clear level of passion in every shot, and it's also clear that much of that creative energy has carried over into the sequel. I'm happy to say that many of those defining qualities are once again present here. In fact, it has been quite a while since Disney has delivered a sequel with this much confidence and overall high quality. So without further ado, let's talk about Zootopia 2.
I believe the strongest justification for Zootopia 2's existence is the need to expand the world and its characters in ways that prevent the sequel from feeling more of the same. And that is exactly what this film delivers. In the original, the areas outside Zootopia were largely unexplored. While we briefly saw Judy's hometown of Bunny Burrow, but that was far beyond the city and not directly connected to its boundaries. The first film's story remained firmly within Zootopia itself. The sequel, however, broadens the scope, it expands the city, introduces new districts and species, and raises the overall scale without sacrificing the qualities that made the original so effective. What I appreciated is that Disney didn't try to reinvent everything. They kept the charm, the humor, the energy, and that social commentary Zootopia is known for. But now it's a little more layered. Not darker, but definitely deeper. I'm keeping this spoiler free, but the story takes place roughly a year after the original, and once again centers on Judy and Nick as they face a new set of challenges. This time, the film gives them additional emotional weight. Judy continues to wrestle with her sense of responsibility, her identity as an officer, and the pressure she places on herself. Nick, meanwhile, is still finding his footing in law enforcement and figuring out how he fits into a world that once underestimated him. Their partnership remains the heart of the movie. The banter, the trust, and the way they instinctively rely on each other are all intact. And that dynamic is what carries the film forward. Once again, Judy and Nick insert themselves into an investigation, one that eventually leads Judy down a long rabbit hole, no pun intended, involving reptiles and how they've been largely unseen or excluded within Zootopia's ecosystem. If you watch the trailers or any marketing, you already know this brings them into contact with a snake who becomes central to the story. What initially appears to be a straightforward case evolves into a deeper, more personal narrative that I expected, especially since I avoided the trailers to go in as blind as possible. Speaking of the marketing, I do think it was quite clever that a snake was used as far as being central to the movie as a whole, since 2025 is the year of the snake in Chinese culture. Just something I thought was cool and worth mentioning in this video. The new characters are fun additions as well. Some are there for laughs, some are there to add emotional moments, and the antagonists actually have motivations that make sense. Not cartoonishly evil, but believable.
Elements of what made the original amazing is also here. The animation, which as usual in Disney fashion is once again amazing, and in my opinion looks visually better than the original, which makes sense since more time has passed and technology continues to improve, especially for animated movies. The humor is still there and the comedy lands without being too overly used. Whether it's a quick one-liner, visual jokes, or callbacks, the movie doesn't try too hard and it feels natural and genuinely funny sometimes. What surprised me the most is the emotional side of the story, especially involving Judy and Nick's development. The movie understands when to be funny and when to slow down and be serious. At least in my opinion, there's really not too much wrong with this movie. Maybe the pacing slows down, particularly around the halfway point, but it's nothing major. And while the new villain and the overall mystery works for this plot, I feel that it's not as memorable as what was happening in the first film. I felt that with the first one, it had more of a wow twist, if you get what I mean, while this one is a little more straightforward. Also, a few characters do feel underused because some of the new characters they introduced do seem a little interesting, but they don't get enough screen time to fully develop. With all that said, Zootopia 2 is amazing. This movie reminds you why the first film became such a hit. It respects the world, respects the characters, and actually actually gives us a sequel that feels worthy, not something that exists just to sell merchandise or fill a release schedule. Disney has been struggling lately with sequels and remakes, but this one actually feels inspired, it's fun, it's heartfelt, and it proves that when Disney really tries, they can deliver something special. While it is subjective, I actually think that this sequel might be better than the original, or at least in my opinion, it is.
Overall, I'm giving Zootopia 2 a strong 8.5 out of 10. If you love the first movie, this is absolutely worth seeing. Great animation, great characters, and a story that doesn't talk down to its audience. Let me know in the comments what you thought about the movie. Did it live up to the original? Make sure to like, share, comment, and please subscribe. Thanks for watching. Bye!